There have been many interesting debates over this De'Vondre Cambell situation, and this one on Get Up. You have a former NFL linebacker, Bart Scott, and a former cornerback in Ryan Clark kind of playing both sides of it. And it's a pretty interesting debate because, again, you're getting two former players' perspectives, but I think there's one particular perspective that is absolutely correct. And I think once you watch it, you're going to understand what that perspective is. So take a look at this conversation that they have. And like I mentioned, I think it's an interesting listen.
Let's start, Bart, if I can, with you.
Yes.
De'Vondre Cambell refuses to go into the game. There are particular circumstances of where he was in regard to this team in this game.
I'm not defending the action. Simply what I'm doing is providing perspective of what the mindset may have been for De'Vondre Cambell. Now, remember, this is a former All-Pro, a very prideful player in this league. He's can't come in and he knew that he was a one-year rental. He's balled out. You talk about he's second on the team in tackles. Oh, no, he's slightly behind Fred Warner with 75 tackles. Now, his week probably went like this. Okay, Greenlaw is back healthy. He's going to start. Like, football is all about competition and getting what you've earned. He probably felt that he's earned the right to continue to be the starting linebacker, but all of a sudden now he's relegated throughout the week to looking at cards and being part of the look team, right? That's demoralizing for a prideful man that feels like he's a starter in this league and he has played at a high level. So now it's the third quarter, and now you guys need me. He probably has been fighting eternally with himself whether he wanted to play all week. And I'm sure his agent was saying, hey, be a professional, do what you're supposed to do. And he got caught up in the emotions of things that now you want me to come play and save you guys after you guys basically told me that I'm a stepchild, right? Everybody that spoke in that meeting, when you talk about Kittle, you talk about Ward, they're there for the long term. You just told me that I was a rental car. It's one thing to know that. It's another thing to see it and have to receive that in real time.
So that's your perspective on perhaps why it may have gone the way that it went. RC, what is your perspective?
Don't give a damn about none of that, right? Because it is a competition, right? It is a competitive sport. And part of competitive sports is it's not only about what you have done as an individual, but the guy you're competing against. And I'm not talking about the Los Angeles Rams. I'm talking about Dre Greenlaw. As great as Fred Warner is, everyone in that locker room felt like Greenlaw was actually the heartbeat of this defense. He's the heartbeat of this team. When you watch the beginning of that game, there was no player that popped more than number 57. So if you're De'Vondre Cambell, you have to be able to see that, right? And you also miss the fact that if I'm De'Vondre Cambell, I'm not only playing to show that I can be a valuable part of the San Francisco 49ers, I'm playing so I can show to Mike Tannenbaum, who may be over in New York or who may be over in Miami, that I can be a valuable piece to their locker room. That it's not just about my former All-Pro years and what I can do on the grass. It's about the leadership that I can provide in the locker room. It's about having some sort of football integrity, some sort of football character. And for people like us, Bart, right, the people that weren't entitled to anything, the people that were cut off of football teams, the people that nobody called on draft day, my big thing, right, my big thing to say freak you, or my big thing to say that I'm better or you not treating me the right way was to go out and ball. Was to go out and say, now put the film on, look at 57, look at 59, and tell me who played better. And what he also has to remember, he has no deposits into the San Francisco 49ers emotional bank account. Dre Greenlaw has all of those deposits. If you remember when that man was running off the sideline and tore his Achilles, not only were the San Francisco 49ers dejected, the first thing number 15 of the Kansas City Chiefs said on the other side is Dre Greenlaw's down. That's the sort of man that you were replacing, and you did a good job.
Because I want to make sure I get you to the right place here. The circumstances are what the circumstances are. The circumstances also don't have to make a damn bit of difference. He was an NFL player on a roster who dressed for the game, and then when his team needed him, didn't go in. Does all the rest of it make any difference?
In my opinion, as a brotherhood, he should never play again.
Ever again?
Ever again?
Ever.
Why would you want him on your team?
So you're going to judge him in his – I have a hard time judging a man in his worst moment. It's been worse atrocities that happened on a football team than him refusing to go in. So Deontay Johnson should never play again.
I don't think so. No.
Okay.
Why would I want him on my team?
So for me, I'm on the Ryan Clark side. I've made my opinions abundantly clear how I feel about this. I feel like De'Vondre Cambell was completely in the wrong. I've said very similar things to Ryan Clark, saying that I don't think De'Vondre Cambell should play in this league anymore. I think that was his not only his resignation letter to the 49ers, but his resignation letter to the NFL, basically saying that, if I can't gut it out for a couple more weeks, after I decided to dress out, then I don't need to be able to play at all in this game. And so I didn't really like Bart Scott's kind of perspective. Yes, I understand that there could be things going on that we don't know. I think it was abundantly clear throughout the beginning of the season when he wasn't playing well and started to like split series with D Winters. I think that was the first time it really kind of hurt his ego, but he wasn't playing well. And so they were trying to make a change. They were trying to make changes because he just wasn't performing. And so I don't think that sat well with him and probably stuck with him all season. And then to the point where Dre Greenlaw comes back and now he's demoted and he throws a little pity party about it. It doesn't matter. Like, that's football. You lose your job. I mean, again, it should have been a surprise. Like what Bart was saying, like, oh, he was balling out. He was second in the team in tackles. He was not balling out this year. That's not true. You can't make that assertion from a stat sheet, from a box score watching. You can't do that. And he wasn't playing well. And again, how can he be surprised that Dre Greenlaw took the starting job back? Like, how much more money does Dre Greenlaw get paid than him? Dre Greenlaw was drafted by this organization. He was a starter before De'Vondre Cambell was anywhere in the mix. We understand that it was a waiting game for Dre. So none of those arguments to me are valid that Bart made. They're just, I don't know if it's one of those situations where you're on like a show like that and they say we need each one of you guys to play each side, or if that's how he genuinely feels. But I side with RC on this one. I think RC is 100% correct. What he did is unacceptable, and you can't have that on your team. He's untrustworthy. You cannot trust that guy, and especially being at his age and being washed and just not good. What's the point? You just want to bring in a potential headache. The 49ers needed a linebacker. They tried to sign Eric Kendricks. Eric Kendricks goes to Dallas. They bring in this guy as a kind of last-ditch effort to have someone help be a holdover until Dre Greenlaw returns, and he just wasn't good. So, yeah, I'm definitely siding more so with RC on this one. Absolutely. Um, I I like to hear that the conversation, the way it kind of bounced back and forth, and like the points that they were trying to make. But what's crystal clear is, yeah, you can be a little butthurt and have a hurt ego, but you can't quit on your team. That's unforgivable and unacceptable. But curious to know what you guys think about this. Let me know in the comments below, and as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.